Speaker, my question is to the Minister for Government Services. How will the Albanese Labor government's budget help to ensure the safety of people who work at Services Australia, as well as the safety of Australians who rely on those services?
Give a call to the Minister for the National Disability Insurance Scheme and the Minister for Government Services.
Members in the House may recall that it was on May the 23rd last year at Airport West. Joanne Casso was a team leader and she filled in for the one security guard at Airport West at lunchtime. She was stabbed by someone coming into the Centrelink office that day. I visited the staff the next day and I've caught up with her and her family by that Friday. Unfortunately, violence against our public servants is not as uncommon as it should be. Last financial year, there were 9,000 assaults, acts of aggression. In the first 6 months of this year, 6,852 of them serious. There are 10 million Australian visits to Centrelink offices and Medicare offices. There are 6,000 people who work there, and governments have an obligation to keep both the users of the system and the workers safe. On the next day after the attack on Joanne Casso, I asked Graham Ashton, a former top cop in Victoria, to cast a policeman's eye over how we can improve the safety in the system. He gave me recommendations within 3 months. At MOFO last year, we announced a down payment of $46 million to keep people safe. I'm pleased to advise that in tonight's budget there will be $314 million extra over the next 2 years. This will lead to 606 extra security guards. There will be improved features of security at the offices that Australians visit. There will be improved liaison capacity with local police if an incident does occur. We'll be establishing for the first time a centralised security operations centre with better CCTV and real-time monitoring of the 318 offices. We're also overhauling 35 of the busiest centres to improve the safety features of those which have the highest traffic. I should say, in talking about keeping people who use our social security and Medicare systems safe, that it is only a very small cohort of people from whom the most significant acts of aggression are drawn. These are people who frequently, as we've seen in other situations in Australia, grappling with mental health and other matters. But we need to keep people safe. People have got a right to go to work and come home safely. In addition, we're backing up tonight's announcement through the work with the Attorney-General and myself to increase the penalties. At the moment, if you assault a judge, you receive some higher maximum penalties than if you assault a frontline public servant. I'm pleased to say, with the legislation that we have in the House, that if you attack a public servant, an ATO staff member or indeed an electorate staff member, there will not be a second-class set of penalties for these people. All people who work for the Commonwealth from the front line will be treated as equally important. This is part of our ongoing system to keep Australians safe.